Jason is in Jerusalem. That's right. International call. Jason, you're on the Wheelhouse. What's going on?
Hi, Cody. Shalom, Bradley. Shalom, Jacob. Thank you for having me on.
Well, thank you for calling, Jason. We appreciate it. What time is it in Jerusalem right now?
11:30 in the evening. So you guys are doing the late night show.
All right. We appreciate you listening.
All right, as a police officer once told me, the evidence speaks. So looking at the Saints trading their one next year for a one this year, and all this talk that they're using it for ammo to moving up, who in the top 10 would rather their extra pick this year as opposed to next year? It's not Detroit. They don't have a QB. It's not the Giants. They're not taking the fifth-year option on Daniel Jones. It's not Carolina, Atlanta, or Seattle. Also no QB. So it just seems to me that they're either moving up to 3 or 4 with the Texans or the Jets. And personally, despite Lovey's comments, I don't see the Texans being all in on Davis Mills. So I want to know your thoughts on that.
Well, thank you for the call, Jason. All the way out in Jerusalem.
We've been promoted from drive time to late nights.
I don't know that the Saints have to go that high to get a quarterback that they may fall in love with.
I think they need to jump Carolina at 6.
Correct. But so, yes, I agree with you in the sense that if you believe you want one of these quarterbacks and you feel like the first team that's going to stick and pick the quarterback is going to be Carolina at 6, you would like to have first dibs at that selection. I saw today, though, Daniel Jeremiah was saying that the Giants are not super comfortable sticking and picking at both of their spots. Now, he talked about the 5th overall selection, but they obviously had the 7th overall selection as well. If Carolina did indeed stay and pick a QB, say Kenny Pickett, they seem to have been most closely linked to Kenny Pickett amongst any of the quarterbacks. Could you call the Giants about that 7th overall pick and get up to 7 and still get one of the other quarterbacks? It's worth noting Desmond Ridder, from the smart guys in Vegas, he's flying up boards. So you may need to move up if you indeed want a quarterback. Look, we know there's teams that want a quarterback that are not in the top 10. Heck, there's still teams in the top 10 that might want a quarterback. You talked about Carolina. Seattle has not made a move at quarterback yet. They probably need to take a swing at a QB at some point.
Atlanta, too.
Atlanta, as well, is a team that probably needs to take a swing at quarterback. So 6 is the first stick and pick QB.
Yeah, you're just playing with fire.
Yeah.
If you're letting Carolina pick at 6. They might not go quarterback. They might not value any of these quarterbacks in this draft class highly enough to where they would take them with their 6th overall pick, but we know they need quarterback help. And if you want your guy, which if you're drafting a quarterback, you can't just be best quarterback available. If you're drafting a quarterback in the first round, you want your guy. Like, you've got your eyes set on one guy. If you want that guy, whether you're the Saints, whether you're Atlanta, whether you're Seattle, whether you're anybody, to be safe, I think you have to jump Carolina and get into the top 5.
Let's use the Saints as an example because Jason mentioned them. The Saints right now, let's say hypothetically they do want to come up for a quarterback. Would you do that trade where the Saints would give you pick 16 and pick 19 to come all the way up to number 3?
No.
Is that enough?
No.
I don't think it is either. I think they got to throw in some extra picks.
They got to throw in some extra picks, and I don't know that even depending on what the picks are, because they've already traded their first for next year, I don't know where the conversation finally gets to the point that I'd be comfortable moving. Think about this. You're going from, it's this in 3 to 6, this in 3 to 8, this in 3 to 9. This is 3, and now your first selection is 13.
Yeah.
So you have moved off the opportunity to select one of the 12 best players in this year's draft. That would be what you're moving to if you're the Texans. Now, you're going to get 3 of the top 20, but you're not getting one of the top 12 players.
Okay, let's play this hypothetical game, even though it's not Tuesday. What if the Saints threw in their 2nd-round pick, number 49 overall? So you got 16, 19, and 49 in exchange for 3. Does that sweeten the pot enough to where you'd say yes?
I would do it. This team has so many needs. You're telling me you're going to have, what would that be in top 50 picks now? If you got the Saints' 49th pick, you'd have 3, 13, 16, 19, 37, and 49. That alone is what, 6 picks in the top 50?
You wouldn't have 3 because you would trade.
Sorry.
So you'd have 5 picks in the top 50.
That still sounds phenomenal to me, especially when you're the Texans. You have so many needs. You could address offensive line, edge. You can get one of the best receivers with one of those picks. You can do a lot. Corner. you could certainly still address. Maybe Derek Stingley's an option now with one of those picks. I love that a lot.
Cody, you're making some faces.
I'm
Where
not,
you at?
I'm not moving out of the 3 spot for anything less than something else in the top 10. Like it would have to be one of those trades where people widely pan the team moving up and just glorify the Texans. Like, it can't even be like a 50-50 in my eyes that, maybe people think we nailed this. Maybe people think, like, I understand having a numerous amount of talented rookies coming in. I understand that. I do want that one very, very good rookie to kind of be the anchor of the class. And I feel like if you're getting out of the top 10, you're not going to have that guy. You're going to have a bunch of guys, but I want a guy to go along with a bunch of guys.
So let me ask you this then. If they don't do that trade, who would you take at 3? Because I feel like the value is you're getting 13, you're getting 16, and then you're getting you're getting 19 from the Saints and the 49th pick in the second round. That's incredible value. Why wouldn't you do that? Like, who's the player at 3 you want so badly that you would turn down the chance to have 3 first-round picks all within a couple picks of one another?
That trade becomes easier to make on draft night, certainly. It's hard for me to say, okay, we'll just make the trade now because you don't know what 1 and 2 is, and there's 2 franchises that have a history of screwing things up right in front of you.
Yeah.
So I don't want to necessarily make that trade now, so I'd love to see where the board is. I can't say where it's going to go, but to pass up the opportunity to have the chance to get either one of the best players at corner or one of the best players at pass rusher or one of the best offensive linemen. Again, this is not me thinking that. This is the way the Texans should think about this. Like, you need to leave the first round of the NFL draft with the best or second best prospect at a position. Like, you need to have that if you're the Houston Texans. I understand having a numerous amount of players, and that is an attractive scenario to people, but you desperately need to have a guy from this draft class that you're like, damn, that's a dude. That's a guy that's playing day one. That's a guy that can come in and compete right away in the National Football League.
We just had a guy call in from Jerusalem, fellas.
We did.
It's pretty damn cool. I hope to be seeing him around this time next year. Jake, do you get that reference? It's a little Passover reference for you.
I thought Yom Kippur was... No, Rosh Hashanah was the new year.
It is the new year.
Right.
Next year in Jerusalem is what you say at the end of the Passover Seder.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Come on, man.
I always... BK, I've told you this. I'm Jewish.
I know. I thought the ish part was going to come to fruition there, but I guess not. We're worldwide, fellas.
Yes, we are.
We're an international show.
Like Prestige Worldwide over here. It's
What?
awesome.
What numbers are we on in Jerusalem radio? Or I guess he's listening on the app.
Gotta
He's
be on
Twitch.
the app.
I'd imagine he's on Twitch or
Yeah.
ESPN975.com.
Got some family out there. I wonder if that guy knows my family.
But don't you what Jason presented and what you guys have presented, having a lot of opportunities, that does to an extent lower your risk of a miss, because the more opportunities in a risky situation, which is the NFL draft, and as much as we talk about these guys and Mel Kiper and Todd McShay, and then when Lance Zierlein comes on with us, he's going to talk about, like, more often than not, you're going to hear positive things about these guys. And almost every fan base is going to leave the NFL draft's first day and second day feeling like they've added a bunch of guys who are going to be playing really good football for them. Fact of the matter is, there's going to be a lot of guys that aren't very good football players that get drafted. We're not going to know that in May and in June and July. It may take a couple of years, but there's going to be, so having more opportunities to potentially have more hits, yes, that is attractive, but I do feel like overall just massive talent at some point has to outweigh the numerous opportunities.
Yeah, we just keep hearing that this is not a top-heavy draft. And I get it. Look, even in a non-top-heavy draft, the odds of you getting a better player at 3 are higher than the odds of you getting a good player at 16 or 19 or whatever. But, man, I keep hearing about the depth in this draft, and I keep hearing that it's not that top-heavy. So if you have a chance, and I don't know if that deal will ever be on the table. I don't know how desperate the Saints are for a quarterback. Maybe they're confident in Jameis Winston, and they're doing what the Texans might be doing and say, we don't like any of these guys this year, so we're going to wait till next year. And if we need to trade up next year, we'll trade up next year. Maybe that's their plan. Who knows? But if that is on the table, I'd have a tough time turning it down just because of the amount of holes on this roster. And, yeah, getting 5 picks in the top 50, that allows Nick Caserio to have a bunch of freedom in filling out this roster.
Quickly, because we're up against it, the Texans did make a move today. They signed veteran corner Steven Nelson to a 2-year, $10 million deal, according to Aaron Wilson. Guy started 16 games for the Eagles last year, former third-round pick of Kansas City back in 2015. Still 29 years old, so he's not old. Lovie Smith wanted corner help This guy at least is a starting caliber corner, but I don't think this stops them from potentially drafting a corner in the first round.
Yeah, it's not like they made some sort of massive commitment where this guy couldn't be beat out by a rookie or have somebody take his playing time in the next year or two.
That's right. I see on the Twitch someone notes ESPN Houston, #1 sports radio station in Houston and Jerusalem.
It's awesome.
That's right. Thanks to Jason in Jerusalem for the phone call.